Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Queen T Culture, and I'm coming to you with the topic of how I became a wife before becoming a wife. These are the steps that I have taken to prepare myself and to get myself together before saying I do to my husband. And some of these things are still instilled and are working in our marriage today. So I'm just going to jump right in it. I don't want this to be a long, dragged out video. So the first one is that I had to understand that God absolutely came before my husband. I know for some that may sound crazy, but it really helped me understand that in all things, God is first. And having my devotional time, having my prayer time, having my worship experience really helped me understand what love is, what caring is, what support is. And I really feel as though that is the groundwork and the foundation, because not only did I have to understand that, my husband seeing me worship and seeing me read the Bible and seeing me hearing the word really built his faith. And having a husband that has God first and is seeking the kingdom and is reaching out for God's hand and searching out for his face, y'all don't understand how beautiful, how this may be cliche, but how sexy that is to see a man of God running after and chasing after God himself. So that really helped build the foundation of our marriage, and having my husband pray with us and having my husband, open up and worship. Because if you know me, I love to worship. I love to talk to God. I love to sing praises to him. And that is just such a refresher understanding that in all things, God is number one. And that was just really important for me and my husband to understand and to establish in our home. Okay, so now for number two, is having a conversation with other women, either married women or divorced women, or women that are having issues in their marriage, or women that are totally happy, totally fine. So getting other perspectives from women prior to me getting married and having those stories really helped with the do's and the don'ts and the what I want and what I don't want in my own marriage. By all means, for all the women that I know that are currently single from a divorce, or are separated, those stories really help me, because not only do I factor in, like, let's not make this mistake, or let's divert in another area with really trying to make things work. They are so strong and are still holding their heads up high, because some of these women, do have children with their, ex-husbands, and they meet that common ground. They're so mature in trying to work through those types of situations. And for women that are married now, I just asked the question, how do you keep it? How do you keep everything alive in the marriage? And how do you keep, the love there, keeping it spicy? And some of the stories are really funny, and others are very helpful in terms of, communication and not fighting over the small things, or, staying in it regardless of how bad it may get. Those really help define pushing through those struggles. Seeing the women that either, tried their best and it didn't work, and those that are, still fighting for their marriage. I mean, in both ways, to me, it helped me in a positive way on how I wanted me and Clifton to just soar through and, stay committed to each other and fighting it out together. So, having these conversations with other married women and getting their stories and them being honest and open with me and praying with me, it really did help, and is helping still, having those conversations. So number three is learning how to make it through arguments. Now, arguments can be very heated sometimes, and I remember me and Clifton fighting a lot when we were first starting to understand each other. And those arguments were just off of sheer feelings, emotions in it. But now we are understanding that we can sit down, we can have an argument, we can fight through it without hurting each other, if that makes sense. If something goes wrong and we need to conversate on that issue, instead of pointing fingers or, just everything is your fault type situations, we really can sit down, be calm, and have a conversation and listening to one another. Now, one thing that my counselor before marriage had me do is, because I'm such a strong-minded person, I really do speak my mind. I try to be as honest as I can to anyone, but especially to my husband, was to remain quiet and to sit and to wait, listen to my thoughts, listen to the words that I'm about to say. Are they going to be hurtful? Are they going to cut down my husband? Am I going to regret saying these things? So I honestly, if I get very upset, I will walk away for a moment and I will calm down, because it really does help for my husband to understand, maybe she's upset. He understands that, I need a talk, a sit down, and it just makes it easier for us to meet at a common ground. And I love having the stillness before the storm. But then if I listen to and try to understand my husband and really sit in my stillness, the storm won't happen, if that makes sense. Instead of just bickering and not listening to each other and just everybody's loud, that does not work. And I know after every argument that we do have, we always hug each other, we always look each other in the eye, and we just, for just a few moments, make sure that our heartbeats align. And I know that may sound cheesy, that may sound like corny or whatever, but at the end of the day, our love manifests. Our love is stronger than anything, and it can conquer all. So anytime we get very angry at each other or we have an argument, we make sure that we hug it out, we kiss it out, we look at each other, we love on each other, and that's just, it just works. So it's not always about being right sometimes, and I'm understanding that better with arguments, but they're very far and few between, because God just blessed us to really understand each other. So we're gonna move forward with number 4, which is being best friends. I love that my husband is kind of quiet in public, because I honestly get the real him at home. Like, he saves all his energy, all of his laughter, all of just being silly with me, and he's so open and transparent with me. I love it. So that having that little piece of him for myself is actually quite awesome. And if you know my husband, he is a very quiet soul. So we made sure that the dating never ends. The best friend, us, because we both play video games. So, in our downtime, hey, we may put in a couple of hours of Call of Duty. We may put in a couple of hours of me just watching him play, 2K or whatever, like, and cheering him on and getting mad at other online players. But me and my husband are friends. We are the best of friends. We understand each other. We can have open conversations. We can, just be silly with one another, or we can help each other in weird ways, more than some, but more just not forgetting how we got here is something that we share and hold so dear to each other. We just can do any and everything together without being ashamed of it, because we just have this connection that is mind-blowing sometimes. So I'm not gonna brag on my best friend, but Cliff is my best friend. So make sure that stays alive in you know, in your marriage, and you know, making sure that y'all are good before marriage, because nobody wants to lose their best friend if during marriage. So keep it fresh, keep it, you know, keep having dates with each other, keep having and spending time outside of the home and doing silly stuff together, and having those conversations that, you know, really brought you two together and sparked something. So with the best friend thing, I'm gonna go ahead and go to number 5 with having a social life and having you know, your family time with your husband. I call it family time because now me and him are family. So with having a social life, I was a very social butterfly. When I was in college, I love to meet new people. I like to go and hang out and stuff. But now I still do. I make sure that I choose the correct people, or I choose to make sure that I have positive influence for my marriage and for me. Now, with that said, I had a couple of friends that, you know, not to be frank about it, but just didn't make me feel as though, you know, the support was there, or, you know, the real true sacrifice of being someone's friend is, because I don't have a lot of friends, but the select few that I did have, it just wasn't their season to be with me. Now, later down the road, we may become friends again, and those relationships may be mended, but for now, I needed friends that were going to be there, if that makes sense, because everyone can't be in your boat on your journey every step that you take, every move that you make type thing. And I love everyone that I meet, because everyone has a piece of my story that I'm writing in this journey of life. So those people that, you know, aren't my friends now, or, you know, we don't communicate as often as we used to, I still am learning from them, if that makes sense. So the people that I have in my life now help build me, help support my marriage. They love the life out of my husband. They love his family, and those are the type of people that you need, not people that are going to bring you down or question your judgment, or you know, just being a negative influence on you. Those are the things that you should, I feel like, be prepared for in marriage, because marriage isn't just about the wedding. It really isn't. Like, the relationship after having a wedding is more phenomenal than anything, because you get to spend the rest of your life with someone that you love, that you can build with, that you can worship with, that you can pray with, that you can be funny with for the rest of your life. And I really hope that these tips of what I did to prepare myself for marriage really helps, because these are just the top 5 for me. Now, I have more, but you know, I want to keep the video a little short. So I may do like a part 2 of this, but for right now, I hope these tips do help. Again, I thank you for coming to my channel. I really hope that you can subscribe. I hope that you can either share my page just to inspire someone else with my story. And of course, like my page. So I will definitely see y'all later. Look out for me for another video. And thanks for coming. Bye.